So, you want to make some graphs in Excel, do you? All right. I'm going to do a couple of just quick little things to do some charts and play with some stuff um, in Excel. I don't know what it's different for different versions of Excel, but this is kind of a general idea of what you're going to need to do um, to make your graph. So here's a simple one I did. So I have some years and some tuition numbers. And what you need to do, what we're going to do is left click on on some cells and then just drag. So I left click on that first cell and then drag. And then when I get to all the data selected that I want, I release the left. Click on the mouse and then I'm going to insert. And let's start with a column chart. So just a regular old column chart. And here's where it gets a little messy. Excel used to be really good at this, but now it's not so good. So you've got this little chart here. It's got graphs for year and tuition, which we don't really want. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click. So we get the cursor in here in plot area, and we're going to right click, and it says here select data. So we're going to do that. We're going to select the data. What it ends up doing here is showing us the categories that are on the horizontal axis and on the vertical axis. So over here, we don't want the year, so I'm going to select that and I'm going to remove it. So on the vertical axis, that's the tuition number, and then here for the horizontal. So what we'll do is we'll edit, click edit, and this is going to allow me to click the range that this horizontal axis, the values down here. So I'm going to go over here, left click on the years and just scroll down again, and then let go of the left click, and I'm going to click OK. And then I click OK again. So now I've got, over here I've got tuition, and down here I've got the years. This little legend shows me that what the bar means is tuition. I can click on that and delete it if I want. I've got more room for the graph. Since it's the only thing we're doing is tuition, we know all the bars mean tuition. Now up here, if we go up to chart tools, again, in different versions of Excel, it'll look a little bit different, but I'm going to click design, and over here it's got all these different chart layouts. So what I want is one that has, I'm going to choose, let's see, how about, so out of all these different chart types, I'm going to pick this one because it's got a chart title, it's got a legend over here, it's got a title for the axis down here and a title for the axis over here. So I'm going to pick that. And I've got my little graph here. So what I can do is, again, I can click on the tuition. I can get rid of that. What I can do is I can change the title to anything I want. And then over here on these axis titles, I can just type over here, tuition, annual tuition. I don't care. I can write anything I want because I'm the boss. And then on the bottom, I can change this axis to title to academic year or something like that. Whatever. But I can change things around. And then depending on what you want to do, if I right click, a lot of these things deal with right clicks. So if I right click on one of the bars, it says over here, format data series. And then this, I'm going to move this over so you can see what happens. This says gap width. So what I can do is by changing this, I can change how far apart the bars are. If I really am going to be crazy and do a histogram, I can remove the gaps. But it's up to your choice. So you can do that. If I get on one of the these little lines here, I can right click on that and I can format the grid lines, or like anything, if I can click on it, I can delete them. So now there are no lines in there. If you want lines, if you don't want lines, but you can just mess with it that way. And then once you have this chart set up, what you can do is, again, go into here in the middle of the plot area, as it says, right click, and I can change the chart type. I don't want a column chart, I want a line graph. So I can click the line graph, click OK, and there I've got, so I still have it maintains my titles over here, it maintains the axes, it just changes it from a bar graph into a line graph. Okay, so that's one of the things you can do. Going over here, I've got a new set of data. So here's the next little thing. I've got years, and I've got male and female, a couple of categories. And so what I'm going to do is, again, I can left click, drag, unclick, and then insert. Let's do a column graph. And we've got some choices here. So first I want to do this one. And again, we've got this whole mess of lines and charts and everything. So I'm going to right click in this middle area and select data. So here, this left side, this is where my vertical axis is. Right over here, the horizontal axis. So I don't want year over there, so I'm going to remove that. So I just have male and female. So now we've got the 2 bars, one for male, one for female. And then again, we're going to edit here the horizontal axis. And that range is going to be left clicking and dragging on the years. Click OK. So now I've got clustered bars for male and female in those years, and it shows, let's say this is enrollment. All right. Then again, what we can do, we can click into the graph or the chart, and again go up here. We've got different chart layouts in Chart Tools, and I'm gonna pick one. Oh, where's a good one? How about this one? So I've got a title for the graph, I've got titles for the axes, and I've got a little legend, which makes sense here. Okay, so we know which color over here. Here's our our legend. It shows the red or the male, the green or the female. That's useful. Down here again, we've got the years. Over here, we've got enrollment numbers. So again, I can change this to enrollment. And down here again, we can put year. And maybe our chart title is, again, whatever you want. All right. And again, this is, I can click on this with a left click, and that lets me get in here and highlight and change that. Then let's see, the right clicks are basically for the formatting issues. So let's delete those grid lines. Now over here, if I click there, if I right click, I can format the axis. And what does this do? Well, when I click on format the axis, it gives me these options. Okay, so what it's done is automatically it's gone from 0 up to 4,500 based on the numbers we had here. But you can change this. Okay, so I can say, all right, that's fixed at 0, and I'm going to go to a maximum of, I only want to go to 4,000 because that's just above my highest value. And we can do a major unit, which is where the hash marks are. It goes once every 500. Here I can change that. And I want that just once every 1,000. Okay. So when I change that, now I'm going up by thousands. I still get an idea. Maybe here, so we can go over here. We can add major grid lines. So there are the lines again. So maybe that will be helpful. But that, again, that's your choice. What this also does is, especially when you're being weasels and making fraudulent graphs, maybe I change the top to 100,000, and I have major units of 25,000. Who knows? Oh, look. So now we've got these big numbers over here. Again, you can kind of see what's going on with the bars, but yeah, you don't really know. So that's one kind of graph. Another one, let's change the chart type. Here's a stacked bar graph. And here's what happens there. Now I'm going to go back here, right click, format my axis. Let's go back to something reasonable. 4,000, and I'm going up by 1,000 each time. Now you've got a stacked bar graph, and what it does is it combines the two columns, or combines the two enrollment figures into one column. So now what I'm going to have to do, actually, format this axis, because over here the total ends up being almost 6,000, so I'm going to go up to 6,000 there. So now they all fit in there. But what it does within each graph, or sorry, within each bar, you can see what the enrollment is for a particular year, but then kind of what the breakup is between males and females. This might be of some use to you somehow. And then we can change chart type. I'm going to go to a line graph. Click OK, and there we have our line graph. All right, maybe I change the axis back again to 4,000. I'm going to get rid of the lines, whatever, but we see trends. Males are going up, females are going up, females are going up faster. Females are always more highly enrolled than males. And then the last one we're going to do, there's some information over here, some sales for 5 different brands. You know, who knows what this is. I'm going to insert, what, a pie chart. All right, there's a pie chart. So here you just have a pretty simple pie chart. And then what you can do with the pie chart is, if we right click on the pie, format data series, we can have explosion. Explosion, awesome. There we got the things broken up. What you can do is also, I'm going to undo that. What you can do is left click on a particular pie slice, right click, format data point, and you can explode a particular data point. So now there's that one. It's out that way. For whatever reason, you might want to do that. Okay. Going over here again to chart tools, if you go to design, it's got all these different kinds. You know, it has percentages within there. You can have labels in there. You can play around with that, the different kinds of colors, blah, 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 blah. Let's see, we can. If we format the data series, we can change the rotation so that the pie piece you want is in a different spot. But lots of things you can play around with. Colors, the shading, blah, 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 blah. Now this we could also change. Oop, right click, change chart type. I click on the bars. Now you've got the same information in a bar graph. Now here, again, they automatically chose a scale for you. It looks like brand B doubles these other ones in sales, like maybe triples this one based on the size of the bars. Now, of course, if we format the axis, you're smart, you know how to do this. I'm going to start at a fixed spot of 0, and I'm going to go up to a fixed spot of, let's say, 350. And I'm going to go by major units of 50. Now there's my bar graph. I'm going to delete those. Click on my grid lines here. I don't like my grid lines. I'm going to get rid of those because that makes things maybe a little more fuzzy. You can't see. Can I really tell the difference between those two if I'm looking at it? If it's that small of a graph, maybe. Which one's bigger, this one or that one? Let's see. Format that axis, add major grid lines. You can see this one. Maybe this one's a little closer than that one. I don't know. Maybe this one's a little closer to the line than that one. Getting rid of them. If I undo that, makes it less clear. So, have some fun with your graphs. Not too much fun. Be good. And if you can't be good, be careful. All right. Knock yourself out.